ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। Hari Om. Salutations to all. Welcome to the study of the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, which is Bhakti Yoga. We see the Gita is divided into 3 sections for broad understanding. First 6 chapters speak about Karma Yoga. Next 6 chapters about Bhakti Yoga. Last 6 chapters about Jnana Yoga. So 7th to 12th, these are specifically chapters on Bhakti Yoga. And specifically this 12th chapter is called Bhakti Yoga. Number 12 is a very important number associated with Bhakti. So Dwadashi is actually called Harivasar. The Tithi 12, Dwadashi, is called Harivasar. It is the day of Bhagavan Vishnu. And Ekadashi Upavas is done for preparing for Dwadashi. So that when we are in Vrata, we have done Upavas, we have ensured our pranas turn upwards, we have chanted the name of Bhagavan through the day. Then on Dwadashi in the morning, the puja of Bhagavan Vishnu is done, and then Udyapan is done, and that is when the Vrata concludes. It starts on 10th evening, concludes on 12th morning. So Dwadasha is, the Tithi 12 is Harivasar. Dwadashakshari mantra is there. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 12, which is the mantra which was given by Naradji to Dhruva. And famous one, it is there in Bhagavatam, and many of the devotees of Bhagavan Vishnu, they chant this mantra. So Harivasar is 12th. Dwadashakshari mantra of Bhagavan Vishnu is 12. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 12 cantos, and Bhagavatam is a Bhakti Pradhan Granth. Again 12. And here in 12th chapter in the Gita also we have the chapter 12, which is called as Bhakti Yoga. So this is the significance of the number 12. If you go from symbolism standpoint, from duality to non-duality we have to go. From 2 to 1. Duality, where I see I am different, God is different, world is different. From that duality, Dvaita it is. We have to go to Advaita, which is one. And Bhakti is Advaita. Para Bhakti and Advaita are one. Where the lover and the beloved have become one, that is the peak, the culmination of all love is lover and beloved becoming one. Where the devotee realizes essential oneness with the divine, That is the state of Advaita. And that itself is bhakti. Para bhakti it is called. We generally think bhakti means always Dvaita. God is separate, devotee is separate, and devotee is worshipping God. But that is sadhan bhakti. Sadhya bhakti is para bhakti, which is what do I want to achieve through this worship of the Lord. Initially, one may say, I want some name, fame, money, power, position, building, promotion, job, all that. Or freedom from sorrow, some good health, removal of any mental afflictions. One may say all that. And there's nothing wrong by itself. But as one progresses deeper in bhakti, then what happens? One wants to know who is this God? What is my relationship with Him? Where is He? How do I meet Him? So, seventh chapter spoke about this Artha Bhakta who wants to remove only sorrows, remembers Bhagwan only when there is trouble. One teacher asked in the class to all the students, do you pray before you eat food? One child said no. Teacher said, why? Said, my mother is a very good cook. So I don't have to pray. Meaning, sometimes people think that when we have trouble, when we remember God. So Artha Bhakta is like that, who wants removal of problems. Artharthi is one who wants fulfillment of desires. They are also bhaktas. Bhagwan doesn't condemn anybody. If I want something, I can ask Bhagwan. He is my creator, he is my father, mother, everything. Ask. And Bhagwan also fulfills. Then the Jignasu Bhakta is one who wants to know who is God, where is He, how do I meet Him, what is my relation with Him, wants knowledge. And with that knowledge, when one surrenders, when one has bhavana, bhakti comes, surrender happens, then one becomes Jnani Bhakta. Jnani Bhakta means one who has realized essential oneness with Bhagwan. So that is called Para Bhakti, supreme state of devotion. Bhakta and Bhagwan are one. So 12 is symbolic of our journey from Dvaita to Advaita. And 12 also symbolizes the nature of bhakti. Number 2, as we saw, is duality. So bhakti, where duality is there, that is sadhana bhakti. It is a means. It is a means to purify the mind, to make it quiet, to help us to surrender. And when we do that, we come to sadhya bhakti, which is the goal itself. So bhakti is sadhan also and sadhya also. The means also and the goal also. The final state of oneness is also bhakti and the means also is bhakti. That's why this 12th chapter is Bhakti Yoga, because that's the importance of the number 12. Now, why do I need bhakti? Can I not know the truth without bhakti? In fact, many people say that I am not bhakti type. I will do seva. I am karma yoga type. Or I am not puja variety. I am intellectual. I will listen to Advaita. I will reflect. I will contemplate. I don't need to do bhakti. I don't need bhakti. Some people say, no, I'm yoga type. I will do asana, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, all that. Bhakti not required. So one may think like that, ki these are exclusive paths. Karma yoga, Jnana yoga, then Raja yoga, and then Bhakti yoga. So I can do whatever else I like if I feel that bhakti is optional. I don't need to invoke bhakti. Because many times what happens is there are some wrong notions associated with bhakti. One thinks bhakti means duality. One thinks bhakti means you have to always sing bhajans, do some puja, do some kirtan, and bhakta becomes emotional and there are tears in the eyes of the bhakta, and they're very sentimental type of people. I am not emotional type. I am intellectual type. So one has all those, sometimes some of these thoughts which one has in the mind. But one important point to understand is we have equipment: body, mind, intellect. Body is the physical body which we have, with which we perceive the world and we experience various things, sense objects, and all that. Mind is the seat of our emotions. And all of us have emotions. There is nobody who has no emotions. We have a body, all of us have a body. We have a mind which has emotions. Some may have, the intensity of emotions may be lesser or more in some people, but emotions everybody has. And there is a buddhi we have, which is intellect. These are all there in our personality. Nobody has anything missing. Somebody, again, buddhi wise, somebody may use more, somebody may use less. Temperament is different for each person, but we have all the three. And so it is important that the mind, especially, see, body, we take care of it, we eat, sleep, exercise, many things we do for the body. Intellect also, in today's age, we listen, we read, we gain knowledge, we study, we get degrees, so many things we do. So body and buddhi, they are taken care of, but this mind in between is neglected. And it is the mind which is the doer, really speaking. Where the connection happens between two people, it happens between the minds. Mind and intellect both, but more of the mind level. Body is only a physical tool. So how that mind is, that is a very important aspect. Is the mind peaceful, happy, contented, feeling secure, strong? Or is there loneliness, insecurity, there is fear, stress, depression, anxiety? And today we see that so much more. The mental health challenges are rampant. So many young people going through these challenges. Which means what? The mind is not anchored, one is not centered emotionally. This mind has to get anchored properly. So the emotions need to be channelized well. So our Gurudev used to say that love is in the hearts of all of us. To love and to be loved is the greatest privilege of a human being. To love and to be loved. To love somebody and to feel loved is the greatest privilege. Many times we want to feel loved, but we don't want to go out and give love. So love is in the hearts of all of us. The more we go out and give, the more happier we will be. If we only keep waiting to receive, more miserable we will be. And sometimes people love us also, they express love to us also, but we want it in a specific way as per our demand, our requirement. And if it doesn't come, we feel we are not loved. So this mind goes through all these difficulties. So when there is love in our heart, Gurudev used to say this, that when I say Gurudev, it means Swami Chinmayanand, that when the love is directed towards more grosser things, towards the body, towards certain people who have some wealth or some power, it is directed towards some objects. So one says, I love this, I love pakoda, and I love this music, and I love that film, and I love this particular place. Nothing wrong. That is called as sneha. That is a lower form of love, where the love is directed towards something external and where one gets dependent on those for happiness, which is more grosser, which many times is also more external, tangible. So my happiness, when it comes from there, then there is sneha. And this word sneha means it comes from snigdha. It means it has some stickiness, attachment. So love towards the grosser things where I depend can become attachment, sneha. When that same love I transform and I direct it towards something higher. So suppose I love somebody, a person, just because they are, let us say they look very handsome and they have great physical appearance, or they have some wealth, or they have some position, some power. So externally my love is because of all those external factors. Then that is sneha. But if I say I love the person for who that person is, the values they have, the way they behave, the ideals that they cherish, then I'm looking at something more deeper. That is called prem, where it is not gross, it is subtler. And where I focus on admiring, I focus on giving, I focus on serving. So I love my, let us say, parents or my sister or a brother or anyone for the deeper values, for who they are as people, not just because there's a blood relationship. If it's blood relationship alone, then that will be sneha. But if I see something more deeper than that, then that is prem. And that will help me to rise above the grosser view of life and appreciate something subtler, deeper, connect with them at a deeper level, go out and share, give love, give respect, do seva, do actions to help them, serve them, all that. Then that is called prem, where the love, in sneha, I am more important, and that object has to make me happy. It may be object, person, whoever it may be. In prem, I want to make the other person happy because I admire, I appreciate, I see the goodness, I see the deeper values, etc. So I will go out and give. In prem also there can be attachment dependency, but the focus is on going and giving. Hence the chances are lesser. When I shift from waiting to receive to going out and giving, that is a big shift already. The mind will become more peaceful, secure, happy in this. And the more that mind is peaceful, secure, happy in the very act of giving love, the more happier one feels. More joy there is in the heart, more secured one feels, more positive one feels. And out of that love, one is able to give more. So one feels also loved, one goes out and gives love also, and one finds joy in the very act of giving. Sometimes it may be even causing some discomfort to the person, but one is happy because there is more love. Like a parent goes through so much of sacrifice to bring up a child because there is love. There was a nice anecdote where there was one very small girl and her brother who was still younger. This girl is only some 4 or 5 years old, and this brother is 3 years old. Now they detected some rare disease in this brother, and he needs blood transfusion. So they find out what blood group it is, and they understand that it has to be only a close blood relative who has to give this blood. Then only it will work. So what they found, that this sister's blood group matches this brother's blood group. The sister is 5 years old. So they explained to her, this is what is your brother's situation. The blood has to be given little bit, so they will take from you. And this sister, she agrees. And then she is lying down there and they put the needle and then slowly some blood is taken. Now, when that was over, the sister is asking the nurse, "Tell me, when will I die?" So the nurse said, nothing will happen to you. You will not die. Then the nurse understood that this sister actually thought that when the blood is taken, she will die. That's what the girl is thinking. But she has love for the brother, so she is ready. So she says, "Okay, you take the blood." And she is saying, "I'm ready." And then she's asking, "When will I die?" So when there is love, even if there's some discomfort, even if there is some struggle, difficulty, one goes ahead and does that sacrifice because the happiness of the beloved is more important. That's why it's called prem. And when that love which we have, when the prem is directed towards the highest, that is called bhakti. Love towards the grosser or the lower form is called sneha. Love towards the higher is called prem. And that love directed towards the highest in us is bhakti. Now, why is bhakti required there? Why can't I just be happy with prem? Because at body, mind, intellect level, each of us are different from the other. And no doubt, when we go out and give love, we feel happy. But there is a demand in us to be loved unconditionally at all times as we are. And our deepest demand is to be loved unconditionally. We want unconditional love. And no matter how loving anybody is towards me and how loving I am towards anybody, the ego is still there. And the ego has its own attachments, aversions, and to that extent, the love will be conditional. So, how will my deepest demand for unconditional love be fulfilled? Which is why, even though there may be enough people to love me and even enough people whom I go out and give love to, at the end of the day, I still feel I am alone because there is an ego shell. There is a shell in which I am living. For some time, I break open that shell, go out, give love, feel loved beautifully. The emotions I experience, but ego is still there. And that ego makes me feel alone. In fact, many people who don't go out and give love, they feel lonely. So they may have many friends and people with them in their family and everywhere, but they will still feel lonely. Why? Because they have not broken out of that shell. So I can love nature, I can love music, I can love my profession, I can love people, I can love my pet, I can love anything. So many options are there, opportunities are there to love. Where I can go out and give love also to all. Yet I will feel limited, I will feel finite. One who feels that very clearly, and one who has understood, one who studies, gains the knowledge, that only one altar is there where unconditionally I am loved, accepted, and that is the altar of Bhagavan. And Bhagavan is infinite. His capability to love us also is infinite, and his love for us is infinite, unconditional. And he is in our heart. Where are we searching everywhere outside for love when he is himself sitting in our heart? He is the Lord of love. So he is in our heart. So when we turn within and anchor within, when we surrender to Bhagavan, that same love is directed towards the Lord, who is not only in my heart, he is in the hearts of all the beings as well as in insentient things also. So one Supreme Lord alone pervades the whole world. That infinite consciousness, that Supreme Bhagavan, when we direct our love towards Bhagavan, in us, around us, everywhere, that is bhakti. That bhakti will give us tremendous Shakti. Why? Because infinite Bhagavan is with me. If I remember that all the time, I will never feel lonely. I will never feel weak. I will never feel insecure. I will never feel orphan, never feel victim. Most difficult challenges may come. I have Shraddha, Bhagwan is with me, I will face it. Bhakti becomes a source of my Shakti. Bhakti becomes a source of my faith, inner strength. Fearlessness comes because of Bhakti. You see the life of so many bhaktas. Prahlad ji, what all his father did to kill him, did he ever victimize himself? Did he say that what is the use of worshipping Bhagwan when my own father is trying to kill me? If Bhagwan was really there, he would have prevented this father. No, he didn't say that. He didn't victimize himself. He didn't feel that will God ever protect me? He didn't doubt. Because that is what bhakti will bring. Bhakti will help us to surrender the ego and manifest our unlimited potential also. Hanumanji, till he was serving Sugriv, he was very ordinary. When he surrendered to Bhagwan Ram, extraordinary power comes out manifesting from him. So many devotees, if you see, they look so ordinary, but the surrender that they have towards Bhagwan manifests extraordinary power from them. See, I'm not even talking about, we don't even have to think about Bhagwan alone directly here. If somebody, even the word bhakti we use for Desha Bhakti. Somebody who says, I will serve my country, at the altar of my country is my surrender. I will do things for my country. How much potential manifests in that person? Such a great visionary leader, Ratan Tata ji. What all he has done for our country. What innovation, what commitment to the country, what vision, what kind of integrity, values, anchoring in uncompromising integrity, so many such beautiful values. Why? Because committed to the nation. So when we have such bhakti, it can be towards Rashtra Bhakti, Desha Bhakti, Guru Bhakti, Shastra Bhakti. Our culture even goes on to say Matru Bhakti, Pitru Bhakti. So when bhakti comes, ego is put aside completely. Of course, at all the other altars of the finite, whether it is parents or the guru or the country, in all these, even profession, ego surrenders for some time. Again, it is back. It is only at the altar of Bhagwan that ego surrenders fully. Even there, it goes surrender sometimes, for some time it comes back again and again, but final culmination is when ego completely dissolves. That happens only at the altar of the divine, because infinity is only one. And so bhakti helps us to manifest our potential. Bhakti makes us fearless. Bhakti makes us realize who we are truly. Advaita cannot happen without bhakti. In fact, Advaita we can pursue only if Ishvara Anugraha is there. Shankaracharya writes so clearly in his Vishnu Sahasranam commentary, before he starts writing on the names of Bhagwan Vishnu, he says very clearly, Ishwar Anugraha Deva Pumsam Advaita Vasana. Is only by Ishwara's Anugraha that a person will have even Vasana for Advaita, to walk the path of Vedanta, to realize non-dual truth. If somebody says, no, I don't need God at all, I will walk the path of Vedanta, that is delusion. Who brought the Guru in your life? Who brought the knowledge in your life? Who brought the sadhaks in your life? Who gave the capability in the mind to do the sadhana? All that happens by Bhagwan's Kripa only. So bhakti is most essential. Without bhakti, nothing moves in spiritual path. There may be 4 yogas, no doubt, but they are not exclusive. Karma can transform into karma yoga only if there is bhakti. Without that, it cannot transform. It will only remain normal karma, and that will only bind. Bhakti is required to get out of the liberation, get out of the bondage of karma also. Why? Because Ishwar Arpitam Nechaya Kritam Chitta Shodhakam Mukti Sadhakam. If I do my actions dedicated to Bhagwan, then the existing karmas will get exhausted, new karmas will not get created. That is the way to get out of karmic bondage. So karma becomes karma yoga only because of bhakti bhavana. Otherwise, it's only karma. If I'm working 18 hours a day, doesn't make me karma yogi. But if I'm working 18 hours a day or even 5 hours a day with the bhav that this is dedicated to Bhagwan, then those actions are karma yoga. Done for pleasing Bhagwan, done because Bhagwan put me in this role. I'm doing this, dedicating it to Bhagwan, not for my ego boosting. Then that is bhakti. So, karma yoga also bhakti is required. To get out of karmic bondage, bhakti is required. In the yoga marg also bhakti is very important. Unfortunately, today people think yoga is only physical exercise and asana and detoxifying the body and flexibility and stamina and all that. But it is a science of union with the divine. In that first two disciplines, yama and niyama comes. In that niyama, Ishvara Pranidhana is there. Surrender to God. So even on the yoga marg, without bhakti, one will not move ahead. We come to Jnana Marg also. Shankaracharya ji wrote, Moksha Karana Samagryam Bhakti Reva Gariyasi. In Vivek Chudamani, he says, in all the qualifications required to get mukti, bhakti is the supreme. Vivek, Vairagya, Shatka Sampati, Mumukshutvam. After that, we think it stops with that. No, next one is bhakti. And he says, bhakti is the supreme in all these qualifications, where he defines bhakti as intense seeking of the true nature of the self. That who am I? Intensely one is seeking that. That bhav is bhakti. It's not always only towards somebody outside. Again, that intensity of seeking comes because one has gone to the Guru. There is Guru Bhakti. Without Guru Bhakti, Jnana will not come. So bhakti is unavoidable on the spiritual path. Bhakti is unavoidable even in the material world. If I am not having that bhakti towards my work, my profession, my country, my culture, my community, I will live as a very selfish, insensitive, not insensitive, I should say, egoistic person who lives only in one's own shell, not bothered about anything around. So, prem and bhakti, they are very important. And that prem, when directed towards the highest, is called bhakti, or it can be directed towards, as we saw, country, culture, any of these also. There also the word bhakti is used. But in the spiritual path, the highest use of the word bhakti is connecting it to Bhagavan. Because everything else changes. In time, relationships also change, our bodies change, world changes, culture changes, communities change, many things change, but one who remains changeless is Bhagavan. And one who is with us at all times, life after life, is Bhagavan. Nothing else remains. Even this body will not remain with us. New body we will take. Swamiji, then mind and intellect remains with us. Are that also changes every minute or not? What remains changeless is only one truth, which is Bhagavan, which is consciousness. Should we not know that? Suppose there is a friend who is coming with you, who is your well-wisher, who does so many things for you, and serving continuously all the time. One doesn't even know who that friend is, what is the nature of that person, what is the name of that person, but one is taking all benefits of that person's seva and work. How will it be? Same thing is with us. Bhagwan is taking care of every single aspect in our life. But who is that Bhagwan? No desire sometimes to know. That's why bhakti is very essential. And bhakti makes our lives very sweet. Tulsidas ji says one very, very beautiful chaupai, uh, where he gives one analogy. So he says that this summer creates so much of heat and the land becomes barren because of excessive heat. Ram Nam is like the Shravan Bhado Mas because it rains in Shravan and Bhadrapad. Ram Nam Bar Baran Dau Shravan Bhado Mas. They are like the Shravan and Bhadrapad Mas where the rains happen and that will make that soil moist and fertile to uh, allow the crops to grow. Same way, many times with ego, selfishness, and insecurity, our heart becomes very hard. Bhakti will moisten it, soften it, sweeten it, make it fertile, and then the spiritual seeds of knowledge, when they are sown, the water of bhakti is there. It will nurture this whole thing. Beautiful flowers and fruits of mukti one can experience, ananda one can experience. So one should not think of bhakti as something lesser, bhakti as something optional, bhakti as something very sentimental, bhakti is meant for weak people. All that one should put aside. These are all wrong notions. In our Sanatan Dharma, right from childhood, bhakti is inculcated. In fact, before birth itself, the child is born by the blessing of Bhagavan. One prays, actually, Garbhadhan Samskar is that when the parent prays to the divine Lord. The father and mother, they pray that may some divine Atma come through us into this world and Loka Kalyan may happen. And there are mantras for that. One chants, one prays to Bhagavan. Then one engages in the act of mating. Then, when the child is born, every samskar, we are invoking the divine. Honestly, if you ask me, without bhakti, life is useless. What will we do with everything but bhakti is not there in the heart? The one who made us, one who gave us everything, we are so ungrateful to that Lord. That is a life which is kritagna. Kritagna means absolutely ungrateful. If somebody gives food when we are hungry, we feel so thankful. Oh, thank you very much. You gave me food. I feel satiated. I'm feeling happy. Somebody gives water. We feel happy. We feel so satisfied and we are thirsty and there's so such heat. He who gave us this life, this body, people, environment, capability to feel, think, act, no bhav of gratitude. And today, so much people talk about gratitude, feel gratitude, thank the universe. Arre, what is universe except Bhagwan? They say that whatever you desire, universe will conspire to give it to you. Universe is not some jadavastu. Universe is not some other thing than God. God alone is universe. Bhagwan only brings it all. However much one may want to deny Bhagwan, Bhagwan only brings it all. It's not some other universe and energies are conspiring. Energies are jadavastu. What will energy do? Energy is inert. The sentiency in that comes from Bhagavan. So kritagnya we should be grateful to Bhagavan. Bhakti is that gratitude in heart. Just say Bhagavan, thank you. Every minute actually we must feel that gratitude. When I say we must, it is not like a commandment, it must be done. No, one will feel naturally. Bhagavan has done so much for us. Every minute. So, this is bhakti is very natural in our heart. In fact, bhakti is there in everybody's heart, whether one likes it or not, knows it or not. Child will have a natural love for the parent. It's a different matter as the child grows. Sometimes one disagrees with the parent, has some difference of opinion. Sometimes one may fight and go away. That's a different matter. But when the child is small, child is born, the child will have natural love for the parent. That natural love is in our heart for Bhagavan. because he is our parent. We don't have to bring bhakti from anywhere. It is already there. We have to only invoke. So this Bhakti Yoga is a very beautiful chapter which will help us to strengthen our bhakti. Already from chapter 7 onward, Bhagavan has been explaining how he is pervading the whole world. And so many chapters, each chapter different aspects of bhakti he brought out. What is that which is special about this particular chapter, Bhakti Yoga? So Bhakti Yoga describes different types of bhaktas. Bhakti Yoga helps us to understand also how to worship Bhagavan as per our temperament. Who is Bhagavan? Form or formless? Which one should I worship? How to worship Bhagavan? 4 methods are given beautifully. Then when we worship Bhagavan, we experience oneness with Bhagavan. What are the qualities of such a devotee whom Bhagavan loves? There are devotees who love Bhagavan. Then there are devotees whom Bhagavan loves. Not that Bhagavan is picky and choosy about whom he loves, not like that. Bhagavan loves all of us, no doubt. But there are certain qualities which Bhagavan loves maximum. And he says, such bhaktas are dearest to me. Yo mad bhakta same priya. Such and such bhakta is very dear to me. So qualities of a bhakta are given. 36 qualities of a bhakta are given. So who is a bhakta? What are the qualities of a bhakta? How to develop bhakti? What are the ways in which I can practice and strengthen my bhakti? All that is given in this 12th chapter, which Bhagavan has not given earlier specifically. And so this is a very beautiful chapter, and we will enter into this chapter where the seed of this chapter, if you see, is already sown in the 11th chapter, last verse. 11th chapter is a Vishwarup. Bhagavan showed the entire cosmic form to Arjun. And that also means that the whole world is the Vishwarupa Bhagavan. The entire form, entire world was seen by Arjun in one place, past, present, future, everything he saw in that Vishwarup. And what we are seeing right now also is that of Vishwarupa Bhagavan only. Just that we are seeing certain parts of it dependent on our limited vision. Arjun saw everything in one place. So in that 11th chapter, at the end, Bhagavan said a very beautiful shloka. That is the seed which is growing, and the whole plant and everything is this 12th chapter. So what is that shloka? Matkarma krit mat paramaha madbhakta sangha varjitaha nirvaira sarva bhuteshu yas samameti pandava. So Bhagavan says, mat karma krit, one who does actions dedicated to me. 3 things at the body, mind, intellect level, he says. Mat karma krit means action at the body level. So specific actions also are called mat karma krit, where puja, japa, or you clean the temple, make some flower garland, anything, all those actions, they are called mat karma krit, specifically done for Bhagavan. Second is all my daily duties, whatever I am doing, I can say I dedicate this to Bhagavan because he put me here and I am only doing my duty for pleasing Bhagavan, and I will do my best for that. So as a father, mother, sister, brother, sibling, friend, employer, employee, whatever roles I am playing, all dedicated to God. Then mat karma krit, one is doing actions for Bhagavan. In those roles, one may have some goals and some things to be achieved, but the bhavana is it's not only for me, it is for Bhagwan. So mat karma krit. Like, Gurudev used to give a very nice example that if there is a secretary who is there and the boss is dictating a letter, the secretary writes it down, goes and types it, gets a printout, brings it to the boss. Now the boss will sign that. All action is done by the secretary, but is done for what? Because the boss wants. And when that letter is signed and it is sent, it will be taken again by the secretary, folded, put in the envelope, paste it, write the address, send it to somebody. Whatever will be the consequence of that letter, who will face? Boss has to face, not the secretary. Why? Secretary was only an instrument, boss is the doer. Same, when we act in the world thinking that Bhagwan is the Karta, I do my best, whatever is my duty in a dharmic way, I will do. Bhagwan is the Karta and Bhagwan is the Dharta and he is the Harta and he is the Bhokta. So one gets out of that karmic bondage. So Bhagwan says, Mat karma krit. Mat paramaha, who considers me as supreme. There is intellectually, there is nothing greater than Bhagwan. One understands that intellectually very clearly. And so most powerful is Bhagwan. Everything that I need, knowledge I need, love I need, peace I need, happiness I need, fame I need, glory I need, spiritual knowledge I need, everything is there with Bhagwan. Whatever I need, prosperity, wealth, anything. So whatever I need, I seek from Bhagwan. If I need. Otherwise, I love Bhagwan because he is the supreme. Which means that I value Bhagwan as the supreme goal of life and my actions are finally to realize oneness with Bhagwan. So mat paramaha. And also when there are troubles which come, I have that Shraddha, Bhagwan is with me. That's why it is said, don't tell God how big your problem is. Tell your problem how big God is. We go to Bhagwan and cry and saying, Bhagwan, this is a problem, that is a problem. I have so many challenges. What can I do? Please help me. We beg in front of Bhagwan. Instead of glorifying the problem in front of Bhagwan, we should glorify Bhagwan in front of the problem. That Bhagwan is the supreme, Bhagwan is with me. You can't pull me down. I will fight you out. So Mat Paramaha means that. Mat Karma Krit, Mat Paramaha. Mat Bhaktaha means emotions. That I love Bhagwan wholeheartedly. So physically I serve Bhagwan, intellectually, emotionally I love Bhagwan. I build a bond with Bhagwan. Bhagwan is not some abstract entity somewhere out there. He is here in my heart as consciousness, aham, aham, aham. And that very infinite consciousness manifests also as form. So I develop a develop a bond with Bhagwan in a particular form, with a relationship with that form, and channelize my emotions. And Bhagwan, you talk to Bhagwan, Bhagwan will reply also. His reply can come internally, his reply can come from through people also, through things also, anywhere, through nature. Bhagwan will talk and reply. And when that bhakta intensely wants to see Bhagwan, that Bhagwan will manifest also in a physical form. So many saints have had darshan of that Supreme Lord. So we must not have this vague idea that, oh, Bhagwan is some abstract concept only. No, no, Bhagwan is the truth. Everything else is illusory. Bhagwan alone is the truth. If that bhav one has, then mad bhaktaha. One loves Bhagwan wholeheartedly. So these three are to say bhakti is all encompassing. Body, mind, intellect, all the three levels. It is not only some emotional, sentimental value. Mat karmakrit, mat paramaha, mat bhaktaha. Also means I should serve Bhagwan continuously, I should love Bhagwan, I should value him as the supreme and seek him as the goal of life. Then Sangha Varjitaha. Bhagwan says Bhakta is free from attachments. Because attachment in that I am important. In love and devotion, the beloved is important. In attachment, there is a psychological dependency. Without this, I can't be happy. In love and bhakti, there is detachment, there is freedom, there is acceptance of what life brings. So, if attachment is there, to that extent, bhakti will be lesser. That's why when we have to try and get rid of attachments, then love will increase, bhakti will increase. It will not make us indifferent and dull and boring. So, mad bhaktaha, then sangha varjita, free from attachment. So many devotees, if you see, did they become dry, dull, uninspiring because they are detached? Or did they become more loving? How many people feel that, when they go close to a person who is enlightened, they feel accepted, loved, they feel so much of happiness in their presence, peace. The Mahatma doesn't have attachments, which is why the love is overflowing and inspires everybody. When there is attachment, then it is directed only towards certain people and there is lot of constriction. So, Bhagavan says, Sangha Varjita, no attachments. Because more attachment, more sorrow. Our attachment and our sorrow are directly proportional. Greater my attachment, greater will be my sorrow. Lesser my attachment, lesser is the sorrow. No attachment, no sorrow. So, Sangha Varjitaha. Then Bhagavan says that Nirvaira Sarva Bhuteshu, no enmity towards anybody. See, this is our culture. Whoever that jiva may be, whoever that person may be, no enmity towards them. Why? Because Bhagavan is same in all of them. If I hurt anybody, I am hurting Bhagavan. And that Bhagavan is my own self, so I am hurting myself only actually. This is our culture, which does not exclude, and people are teaching inclusivity to us. We don't have to become inclusive separately. Our Sanatan Dharma is all inclusive already. It includes even the insentient things. When Prahlad was asked, is your Bhagavan in this pillar? He said, yes, he's in the pillar also. Forget inclusivity of other beings and gender inclusivity and all that. We include everything. The whole universe is one for us. With that vision of love and compassion and oneness, we operate. But if somebody takes advantage of that and tries to come and destroy us, then we have to defend. That doesn't mean we hate. If the whole body is me, if any one part has become cancerous and is threatening the whole body, that part has to be cut, it has to be cut. That is also act of compassion only. It's not any act of violence. If any other methods are done, like chemotherapy or radiation, whatever, to destroy those cancerous cells to save the body, one will do that. But if there is no other solution, that operation has to be done and that part has to be cut and removed, then one has to do that. So there is no enmity against anybody. Nirvaira sarva bhuteshu. But that also doesn't mean that somebody can take advantage of us. If there are other people who think that those who don't believe in their faith are enemies and they should destroy us because we don't believe in their faith, then we have to defend ourselves. But no enmity in the heart. Like Bhagavan tells Arjun, no, that you fight because you have to protect dharma, but don't have hatred against the Kauravas. Do it because it's a duty, it has to be done, dharma has to be protected, and all means of peace have been exhausted. They don't want peace and they have imposed the war on you. Then defend. So, Nirvaira Sarva Bhuteshu. These are 5 qualities Bhagavan gives. This is the seed of bhakti. So, if somebody wants to practice or know what is bhakti, this one shloka is enough if that person practices. Mad karmakrit, mad paramaha, mad bhaktaha, sangavarjitaha, nirvaira sarva bhuteshu. And Bhagwan gives a promise here actually. He says, these five, whoever practices, yaha samam eti pandava, that person will become one with me. That's a promise Bhagwan gives. So if these five I practice, I dedicate actions to Bhagwan, I love Bhagwan wholeheartedly, I value Bhagwan as the goal of life and do actions to, be one with the Lord. I drop my attachments in the heart and become free, no enmity towards anybody. Then one will discover oneness with the Supreme. Now, this is the seed of the 12th chapter. This is what is elaborated here in this 12th chapter. And the 12th chapter starts with a question from Arjun. So, what is that question now? So, that question is because Bhagwan showed the whole Vishwarup. And he told Arjun also that this form is not easy for anybody to see. Only who has that Ananya Bhav, and Bhagwan has special love for Arjun and he is seeing this form. And he concluded with this 55th verse of the 11th chapter, which is Mat Bhakta, Mat Karmakrit, Mat Paramaha, what we just saw. Now Arjun has a question. So what is that question? First of all, Arjun means what? Arjun means one who is straightforward. Bhakti and straightforwardness go together. Bhakta is not a cunning person. If there is cunningness, manipulation, devious plans, pervertedness, bhakti will not stay in that heart. Also, please remember that bhakta is a straightforward person, but that straightforwardness does not mean that that person is a dumb person. Because we think like that, ये तो बेचारा भगत आदमी है. Meaning is a dumb, dull, ignorant person, easy to fool, take for a ride. And unfortunately, today they have spoiled the word bhakta like anything. Either one say bichara bhagat admi hai, or one will say andha bhakt, and associate that person with some political party and some leader and all that. So many words of our culture, they have just ruined like that. We have to restore their meanings. Bhakta means one. We will see the meaning of bhakti. The word bhakti also we will see. But a person who is straightforward is not a person who is dumb. He's a smart person also. If that straightforward person is straightforward because by choice, because one knows that cunningness, manipulation, etc. hurts me first before anybody else. At the same time, that person is also smart enough where one has to reveal certain things, one will reveal, where one has to hold back, one will hold back for the greater good. It's not that everything is told straightforward, hai, matlab, just vomit everything and don't bother about what to tell, whom to tell, when not to tell. It's not like that. A person who is a bhakta also uses a lot of vivek, and that's why that straightforward person who is a bhakta is discreet. If required, is diplomatic also. So we should not mix up this. See, Arjun, though we say that he is very straightforward, he was straightforward with Bhagwan. In front of Bhagwan, he opened himself up and he surrendered. He said, I don't know what is right and wrong, you please guide me. Because that straightforwardness will help in getting guidance. Duryodhan was not straightforward, so he didn't get his guidance. He went to his teacher, but he could not even confess his problem. He taunted his teacher and came back, so he didn't get his solution. And it's not that Arjun is going in front of Duryodhan also and opening up and going in front of, Dushasan also. No, he knows where to open up, in front of whom, and seek guidance from where and whom. And is he not smart? Is he not skilled? Is he not very courageous and brave? So we should not think a bhakta who is straightforward is any, bichara type of a person, dull and dumb person. No, no. Smartness, sattva guna go together. It is not that a sattvic person or a straightforward person is not smart. That person chooses not to be cunning, manipulative, because one knows that is operation from insecurity. So here, Arjun, when he asks a question, he is straightforward and he is asking question to Bhagwan not because he wants to show off or he wants to doubt Bhagwan or he wants to, you know, uh, argue for the sake of arguing. No, it's a straightforward question born from his genuine seeking. Before I enter into that question, bhakti word we have not yet described. So one meaning of bhakti word comes from the Sanskrit root called bhaj. Simple is to worship. Bhajanam bhakti, to worship Bhagwan, to glorify Bhagwan through anything, puja, japa, bhajan, kirtan, any of these. Bhajanam bhakti, which is the emotional, which we say at the mental level, if we build a bond with Bhagwan. So when it was said mad bhaktaha, that is this. Then bhaj sevayam. Bhaj also means to serve Bhagwan, because when I love someone, then I want to do something for them. Gurudev always said, you can give without love, but you can never love without giving. If I don't love somebody, I can give something to them because of formality, no doubt. But if I truly love somebody, then I want to give. So service will be a natural byproduct of love. One will serve, one will do, show it in action. So bhaj means to love, bhaj means to serve, bhaj also means to know, because I can't love without knowing. Is all this comes only in the movies and all, love at first sight. Somewhere I read love at first sight and divorce at first fight. If that mind is like that, just focusing on the physicality, divorce at first fight. Even that love at first sight is because you know something, no, that body is there or the whatever, some qualities are there, some wealth is there or whatever it is. If I don't know anything about that person, I can't love, or that even that thing, or even any other being. I have to know something. So bhaj means to know what is the true nature of God. Bhaj means to love the Lord. Bhaj means to serve Bhagwan. And bhaj also means to break away all that which is binding me. Bhaj amardane. Amardane means to break. What will bhakti break? It will break all my weaknesses, anger, greed, jealousy, lust, passion, all that. It will destroy it. Because I find joy in my heart. Then I don't need any of these external other things and dependencies. Mind becomes free. So these are different meanings of the word bhaj. And the result of all this is what? A bhakta who loves Bhagwan, knows Bhagwan, serves Bhagwan, becomes one with Bhagwan. That's what he said, no? Mam eti Pandava. So it is said, भक्त वो जो कभी विभक्त नहीं है भगवान से. Vibhakt means separate. A bhakta is one who is never separate from Bhagwan. Bhakta and Bhagwan are always one. I am talking about the highest form of devotee. The devotee and the Lord are one. Bhakta and Bhagwan one. So highest bhakti is oneness. Now this is Bhakti Yoga. Now we enter into the chapter. So what is the question Arjun is asking? So let us read. Evam satata yuktaye bhaktastvam paryupasate. That is the first shloka. Evam satata yuktaye bhaktastvam paryupasate ye chapyaksharam avyaktam tesham ke yoga vittamaha. Interestingly, this 12th chapter is the shortest chapter of the Gita, only 20 verses. Swamiji, 15th chapter also has only 20 verses. But the meter in 15th chapter, there are some shlokas which are longer meter. So meter wise, 15th chapter is longer than 12th chapter. So 12th chapter is the shortest chapter. What is the question that Arjun is asking? Evam, in this way. In this way means what? In the way in which Bhagavan described the Vishwarupna in the 11th chapter, where the whole world is Bhagavan's form. In that way. There's a power switching that is happening here. So it switches every few minutes. So that's why the current goes. I'm in Coimbatore. Anyway, it will come. So, in this way, meaning evam satata yuktaye, in this way who worship Bhagavan as the whole Vishwarup, Virat Roop also you can say. Evam satata yuktaye, bhaktas tvam paryupasate, who do your worship regularly, daily, continuously. Paryupasate means that continuously, who are worshipping you through the form. Form has three meanings here, either as a form specific Ishta Devata's form, or as the whole world, as the form of Bhagavan, or as a Virat Roop. So, Evam word means that. Evam, in this way, those who are continuously worshipping you, Satata, and they are united with you. Satata yukta ye bhaktaha satata yuktaha paryupasate. They are continuously worshipping you. In which ways? In these three ways. Either through a particular form, or they see that same Bhagavan in the whole world and they worship Bhagavan through the world, through the seva to the beings here. Or they specifically meditate on the Vishwarupa Bhagavan. What was said in 11th chapter. So Arjun's question is, this is worship of the form. See the definition of form itself here. We think form means only one. Three things he says. Either of these three are form. Ishta Devata's form, which is one specific form, or worship the whole world as the form of Bhagavan. Suppose devotee of Ram. Then he says Ram alone pervades everywhere, so one serves Ramji through everyone. Which is where every action then becomes worship. Nar Seva becomes Narayan Seva. Jan Seva becomes Janardhan Seva. Manav Seva becomes Madhav Seva. Like that. And there's only human beings. One will serve even the plants, birds, animals, all with the bhav that my Ram is everywhere. So one is the specific form, second is the Vishwarup, third is that specific, second is the Virat Roop, which is the world, and third is that Vishwarup, where one sits and thinks of Bhagavan as one tries to understand and imagine that Vishwarup, where the whole universe, entire creation is seen in one place, past, present, future, all the devatas and beings and subtler beings and everybody is seen. In whichever way that may be, that is classified as form worship. Evam satata yukta ye. Those who are trying to unite with you through upasana in this way. And then there are other category of people, ye cha api aksharam avyaktam. And those who worship akshara, which is imperishable, and avyakta, unmanifest. meaning formless truth, consciousness. Of these two, Aksharam, Avyaktam, Paryupasate. Paryupasate has to be taken with both. Worshippers of form also continuously worship the Lord with form. Worshippers of formless also worship the Lord continuously through the formless. Of these two, Tesham Ke Yoga Vittamaha, who are the best knowers of yoga, meaning who are the best who have united with you. Now, this is the question, that of the worshippers of the form and the formless, who are the best? One eternal debate we have with this form and formless. So many people keep on wondering, and they think form worship is lesser, formless worship is subtler. And the best part is, Bhagavan does not answer who is better or who is the best. Bhagavan gives three factors, and he says, whoever has these three factors, that person's worship is the best. His amazing answer that he gives. So that answer we will take up in our next class. Many of you are already aware, you have been studying many chapters. Some of you are new. So on the WhatsApp group, I hope you have joined. If you have not joined, you please join the WhatsApp group. You must have got an email when you registered. In that there is a link, join the WhatsApp group. Second, the meeting link is put up on the WhatsApp group. It's there in the group description also. So every week, the description you can click and then join the meeting. Dates also are given in the group description. So we are not going to keep putting every day, every class, ki today we have a class. If there's a change in the schedule, then we will put up. Recordings are available. Again, in the group description, there's a link which is given. In a day or two after the talk is over, the recording will be uploaded. And all recordings will be there on that link, one link only. None of you will get a separate email. So don't wait for an email. Just go to that recording link. I will put it up once again on the WhatsApp group also. If you miss any class or you want to listen to the class again, go to that link. All the talks will be there in that. As and when the talks keep happening, we will keep adding there. So those are few announcements I had to make. Tomorrow evening, we are starting Hanuman Chalisa class. In Hindi, that is. We already had 3 sessions of Hanuman Chalisa when we did in Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. Those talks are already uploaded today. So you want to listen to them, you can listen to them. And then tomorrow onwards, we will continue from where we left in those talks. So from second Chaupai, we are going to start Hanuman Chalisa. I will put up that announcement also on the Gita class. If anybody wants to register, you can register. We have Aarti Yajmans for all these sessions. So we will thank them, do the Aarti, and then if there are any questions, you can raise your hand and we will answer the questions. So Mukhya Yajman for all the sessions, Kalpana Morparia ji, Parag Wagh, and Bharat Khanna ji. Gita Aarti Yajmans for all the sessions, Ajay Merchant ji, Dipti Gandhi ji, Hemant Kumar ji, Jyotsna Nivatia ji, Jolly Silvipat ji, Jayashri ji, Tarana ji, Rashmi ji, Sapna ji, Rajan ji, Shalini ji, Nalini ji, and Vijaya ji. The Dainik Yajman for today, Shweta Shah, Hem Thakore ji, and Vipul Dalal ji. And the Aarti Yajman for today is Rita Vishwanath ji, Venkat Putturu ji, and Lata Shri ji. We invoke God's grace, Gurudev's blessings on them, their families, and everyone present here. May Bhagavan bless us with bhakti in our heart more and more. May we move from Dvaita to Advaita. May we become one with Bhagavan. And may we have those 5 qualities that Bhagavan mentioned. Mat karma krit, Matparamaha, Madbhaktaha, Sangavarjitaha, and Nirvairaha Sarvabhuteshu. May Bhagwan's grace and blessings be with all of us. Om Tat Sat.
ॐ जय भगवद्गीते मैया जय भगवद्गीते हरिया कमल विहारिणि सुन्दर सुपुनीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते कर्म सुमर्म प्रकाशिनि कामासक्तिहरा तत्त्वज्ञान विकाशिनि विद्या ब्रह्मपरा ॐ जय भगवद्गीते निश्चल भक्ति विधायिनि निर्मल मलहारिणि शरण रहस्य प्रदायिनि सब विधि सुखकारी ॐ जय भगवद्गीते रागद्वेष विदारिणि कारिणि मोद सदा भवभयहारिणि तारिणि परमानन्दप्रदा ॐ जय भगवद्गीते आसुरभाव विनाशिनि नाशिनि तमरजनि दैवी सद्गुणदायिनि हरिरसिका सजनी ॐ जय भगवद्गीते समता त्याग सिखावनी हरिमुख की बानी सकल शास्त्र की स्वामिनी श्रुतियों की रानी ॐ जय भगवद्गीते दया सुधा बरसावनी मातु कृपा की जय हरि बल प्रेम दान कर अपनों कर लीजय ॐ जय भगवद्गीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते मैया जय भगवद्गीते हरिया कमल विहारिणि सुन्दर सुपुनीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते ॐ जय भगवद्गीते बोलिए गीता मैया की जय।
बोलिए श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जय। श्री सद्गुरुनाथ महाराज की जय। Yes, any questions you can ask. Yes, Karan.
Hari Om Samji.
Hari Om.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Swamiji, I had a question from the relating to the previous chapter actually. You had said that for a devotee, his or her Ishta Devta is real. The God, no, the Devta actually exists. It's not it's not a hallucination, or it's not a creation of the mind of the devotee. So it obviously implies that there is an objective reality towards God. It is not dependent on the devotee's mind. But likewise, different devotees have different Ishtadevtas. And they all, and you also said that the Ishtadevta is everywhere for the devotee. So the Ishtadevta is actually infinite for the devotee. So how is it that at the same time it's an objective reality, they all have different forms, and they are all infinite? Because and there is no subjective reality over here in this sense. I don't know if I'm actually able to frame my question in a way which is making sense, but
So this is actually born out of our limitation of thinking.
I'll just say for context, maybe an example a little more humorously. There are arguments between devotees as to who's greater, Vishnu or Shiva, and they have these debates as to no, this one is actually the supreme personality of Godhead, and this other one will say no, this is actually Ishwar, and they both debate and argue with each other, and that is where this perhaps my question arises from is that each think that their God is supreme and the other one therefore cannot be supreme by argument's sake for argument's sake. So how can you actually explain this point?
That's why I said it is born out of human beings' limitation of thinking. Because human being thinks that there's only one who is supreme, and of course there's one alone which is infinite. But that infinite means infinite is capable of infinite things, right? Infinite is not limited. In Shiva Puran, Shiva will be considered supreme because the bhakta of Shivji has to feel that my Lord is the supreme, then the bhavana will come of surrender completely. Vishnu Puran, Vishnu Bhagavan will appear as the supreme, and Vishnu Bhakta will say that now my God is supreme, I surrender. I don't need to look left and right. Hanuman Chalisa, Tulsidas ji will say, Aur Devata Chittana Dharai, Hanumat Sai Sarva Sukha Karai. Then Hanuman ji is supreme there. Now, obviously, it does not mean that there are three supremes. There is one infinite truth appearing as Ram also, appearing as Shiva also, appearing as Narayan also, appearing as Hanuman also, depending on what the devotee wants to worship of that Narayana, of that supreme infinite consciousness. So, simultaneously, there are not supremes existing. That's the limitation of our thinking. There is one supreme appearing as all these different forms, and they are one supreme only. You may take a form as a doctor, as a whatever, son, as a father, as a employer, as a friend, different costumes you wear, but you are one only, no? So where is the conflict? Conflict comes because I think that this, if Shiva is supreme and Vishnu also is supreme, how can there be two supremes? How can they both be infinite? Because they are not both. There is only one infinite appearing as all this, because infinite can appear in infinite forms and yet be infinite. That's infinity, right?
So just like as human beings, we don different roles, though the human being is only one. You're saying that the infinite is only one and the infinite has these various aspects.
Correct. So that is a limited example to make us understand. But obviously in that example, human being is limited. So if I'm a doctor at one point in time, at the same time, I'm not playing the role of a father. That's a limitation of example. But infinity at the same time appears to all different devotees as infinite as that particular form. That's what we have to understand. That's why I said it's a limitation of a human thinking, that which is why Arjun is seeing all in one, and yet it is beyond all forms. That's what infinity is to be understood that way. What is the meaning of infinite? That way, where there are no limitations, no boundaries, no, time, space, causation don't create those kind of restrictions. That is infinite.
So when you said in the verse that to the bhakta there is no other reality, it is not necessarily a hard truth actually in some way. It is actually...
See, the hard truth meaning what? It does not deny anything else. For me, as of now, world is real. The shifting happens from world is real to God is real. For me, God is unreal today, world is real. Then one understands, no, God is only real and God is appearing as the world. So the if at all we have to say it like that, the true reality appears, which is what we call as a Satyam, the absolute reality appears real to this person now who is a bhakta. And that which was relative reality, which was illusory, one understand this is not existing apart from Bhagavan. So it's Bhagavan only appearing as all this. So a true bhakta of Shiva will have no conflict even with Vishnu, because he'll say, my Shiva only is appearing as Vishnu. So these fights are happening because of people who have not sublimated their ego fully and who are wanting to prove themselves more powerful than somebody. Is that truly bhakti? There's some ego fight happening there.
They want to prove themselves right.
Then they want to prove themselves right and put somebody down, and there the vision of oneness is lost, no? Where the fact is the Puranas are saying so clearly that Shiva's Ishta is Vishnu, Vishnu's Ishta is Shiva, Shivasya Hridayam Vishnu, Vishnu Hridayam Shiva. Both of them are worshipping each other. Where is the question of anybody being superior and inferior and all that? That is all human created frailties of the ego, which is what the scripture tries to tell us and helps us to drop all this to realize absolute oneness. So, for a bhakta, that form, when it becomes very real, bhakta also will understand that that form only appearing as everything else. They will never look down upon any other form. A true bhakta will never criticize any other form because there is no other form. There's only one appearing as all these.
Right.
Ramakrishna will never look down upon anybody, any other form. Hanumanji, who loves Bhagwan Ram, does not look down upon anybody else who is worshipping Shiva or Durga or Devi or anything like that, right? So, as a bhakta, one will only see Bhagwan and that my Bhagwan is infinite. So, that Bhagwan only is appearing as various forms also, as the world also. And so, there is no conflict in bhakta's heart. The real bhakta doesn't have any conflict.
Okay, it makes sense. Thank you.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Oh, there's one more. Okay. Yes.
Yeah, Hari Om Swamiji. Actually, my question is a follow on Karan's question. He used the term objective reality, and he used that term. So I was just thinking that, when we learn about subject, object, like whatever I know, this is object. So Ishtadevta's form, is it right to say it's objective reality? It's reality, yes, but I don't know whether this objective term is correct to use for an Ishtadevta's form.
It is both, no? There's at some point in time, if the bhakta wants an objective external appearance to be there, Bhagwan will manifest there also. And Bhagwan is
Hmm.
the heart also as subjective consciousness. And that same subjective consciousness, one is worshipping in one's mind through a certain form where I am saying I am different from that form and I am worshipping that form. Then there's an objectification that has happened, right?
Hmm.
So,
Right.
so it is
Yeah,
both. It is subjective, objective, and beyond both also. It is all possibilities are there. Depends on which level
correct.
I connect.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, there's one more question. You have to lift your hand and ask. I have one
For
question.
transfer money.
Lata Srinivas. 1 minute. Lata Srivastava. Yes, there's a hand symbol. Now, if you lift that, it will become easier. Yes. Now you can unmute and ask, please.
हेलो
Yes.
मैंने ना पहले पैसे ट्रांसफर किए थे। आज मैंने आरती के 500 रुपए यजमान करके लिखा है, पर नाउ आई एम इन यूएस। सो इज इट योर चिन्मय सेवा ट्रस्ट? ऑलरेडी आई ट्रांसफर्ड।
It is Chinmay Seva Trust only, no? Through UPI or whatever you would have transferred.
UPI. And last account number is 3871.
No, I don't remember that. That our office only will know that.
Because I am transferring, I am from Nagpur, Chinmay Mission, now in USA. I am always transferring for Nagpur and this year. So I am confused. What is Chinmay Seva Trust or?
Yeah, it
Can
is
you give
Chinmay
me
Seva
QR code?
Trust or All India Chinmay Yuva Kendra. Either of these will be there. So this Gita talks are transferred to All India Chinmay Yuva Kendra.
Can you give me your QR code or the bank details?
It is all there. If you click the what you call that, the payment link which is given in the email, no, you would have got an email. In that there's a payment link. If you click that payment link, all the details will come there where you can pay whatever through credit card, UPI, all those.
Already I paid, but I'm not finding last balance, last history. So
Now,
history
you
payment.
can ask one person called Milind to help you out. He's our office person. If you are able to note down his number, you please write it down.
Okay,
Ask
give
him.
me.
Ask him because he will be able to guide you.
Okay.
So his number is 70839
70839
31971.
31971.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Because you said that Lata Srivastava and I have yet not able to transfer it, so I'm worried.
No, I
500.
asked, you put a question in the chat, no? That's why I said you have to raise your hand and ask. So that's why I asked. I don't know about transfer and all that. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Hari Om.